I want to get a bit of a sense of where you're seeing Saudi consumers at the moment in terms of their spending habits, and more importantly, what that means for what's possible in terms of growth in 2018.
Yeah, actually, good morning first. Number one, we, as an extra year to date, we are plus 7% on sales, and the whole market is down by 17%. We believe that this year is really the bottom because there is a lot of things came at the same time, like the VAT, the lifting the subsidy, the expat leaving the country, and so there is a lot of activities happen this year, and we do not think that it will come together the next year or the years after again. And so that was an exceptional year, and we think this is really the bottom. Year to date, as I told you, minus 17%. We've seen some, let's say, a good indication in September, specifically in September. The market was really up, and it was double-digit growth on its own. And so we are hoping that the start of the next year, specifically the first half, will be a strong 2019.
Mohammed, good morning. It's Manis. What is that going to mean for margins? If you're calling the bottom of what's been a tough time, what does that mean for margin? Would you define it as expansion, single-digit expansion? Give the market some guidance.
No, the margin, as a company, we promised this year that we'll do a double-digit growth in profitability for the total year. And actually, the margin, this is the nature of the industry. You make money from certain products this year, and you don't do it next year, and so on. And so the art is how to play with the product mix and the services that you are selling. Specifically, that we do product, we do services, and we do consumer financing also. You know, and so we are still bullish on our margin of a bit of stabilization and improving for the coming periods.
Mohammed, Brent crude is holding above $80 a barrel. You've had a lot of experience with consumers over the years. How quickly could that translate into a bit of a bump in consumer confidence?
Look, and I think the consumer confidence will come with a bit more of predictability. You know what I mean? And so because in the last period there was many things came at the same time for the consumer, and so the consumer, they need to predict what is, let me put it this way, the disposable income in the new norm. And so that's the most important thing. And so when we have a 6 months of, let's say, no new decrease or new fees or something like this, I think the consumer confidence will come back. However, the consumer those days, I think they are much more educated, much more aware about how to spend their money. No, it's not like before, you know what I mean? And so they really, they are smart spenders, let me put it this way.
Mohammed, you mentioned consumer finance there. You very clearly defined what extra is, which is product, services and consumer finance. Rising interest rates is the biggest global market debate. How concerned are you that a rising SIBOR and rising rates could hold the consumer finance side back?
Look, now we do our consumer finance on our balance sheet, as you know, and we charge almost like credit cards, which is about 24% a year. And you know, the rising of this from 4 to 6%, yes, it's a 50%, but this could affect the let's say the project financing and all this stuff. But on the consumer finance, we still have a good, let's say, a gap or buffer that we can still enjoy, specifically that the delinquency rate and the non-performing loans are very, very low rates.
Yeah. Mohammed, last time we spoke, you explained that consumers were not really reacting as expected when it comes to the World Cup and some of the sales events that had been planned around that. Now you have a batch of new phones, and I'm thinking along the lines of the new iPhones. I mean, what are you expecting on that front? How much appetite is there really going to be, given everything we've talked about?
Actually, you know, there is two types of iPhone now. The iPhone, which is the one with the big screen, and the one with the smaller screen. And so if you see the reaction for the customer on the smaller screen, there is no reaction whatsoever. It's not really doing, let's say, it's not doing well. It's not even comparable to the X. The big screen, there is a demand. Currently, there is a good demand. But as I told you, in the old days when the iPhone just announced a new thing, you will find lines, you will find people that to pay even a premium, but not these days. As I told you,
Okay.
they are becoming much more smarter, actually.